H's. All the armies. I can scarcely believe it.
Well, try harder, my friend. This is going...
What is this? Cicero?
Help, Tristan.
You have brought murderers into our field!
Look around you. A field is empty, the pallet incomplete. We need them. The pride of the Masquerada have already cost us one army. Do not let it cost us another.
How am I to know that they will not stab my men in the back?
How do they know that you will not do the same? Look at them, Tristan. Their numbers pale in comparison to yours, to the same auras, and yet they come. If they, who have no chance of survival should you turn on them, are willing to trust in you, what excuse have you to withhold your trust from them? If you, for once, look past their Mascherines and into their eyes, I promise you that you will find nothing but a mirror. These are people fighting for a better life, for their families. Now, they are willing to fight for their city.
I watched you knife the men and women that swore their lives to me 5 years ago. Now, I have the opportunity to avenge them. Do not make me regret wasting it.
Thank you, Tristan.
I don't know whether I should be relieved that you're yourself again.
You've got time to decide.
Not as much as I'd like. The Crown's developed a plan. You should hear it. And I suppose he should too.
I'll see you inside.
Melicarte, among the Semora. Weapons kept away, shackles absent. Ages, Lysandra would be proud. Cyrus, too. It's like the second Canticle.
After this, they will be treated like proper citizens of the land that birthed them.
If we even make it out. I see the Altis are absent.
But we have you.
I can only hope that is enough. We shouldn't keep them.
Fought anything like that before?
Your people won't even be on the front line, Seville.
This is ridiculous.
What's going on?
Seville had men follow you to see what we're up against.
What's going on, Inspectore, is that we don't stand a chance.
What do you mean?
I'm talking about the mask runners. You saw them yourself. You fought against some of them even. Such savage manipulation of the elements. How in all the colors do you think we're going to stand up against opponents like that?
Calm down, Seville.
Calm down? How can I calm down when we're all throwing our lives away? We've established that they outnumber us, and perhaps before I might have thought we could have done it. But Armadia mean nothing in the face of such raw power.
Then what would you have us do? Lie down and allow them to take everything that we have? The loss of the Hall of Songs will be just the beginning if that woman has her way with the city. I assure you.
Then perhaps she should have her way.
Seville!
I did not mean that. I apologize. I think I need a moment.
Will he be all right?
He's not the head of the Dieci for no reason.
Whatever it is, we should get on with the plan. The only ones left to be briefed are the two of you. The Dactytes control the Pale Isle and the White Spire. Lucia is somewhere inside the Spire, but it would be impossible to reclaim if we charged through the Isle head first.
The Dactytes have claimed the area as their own. It will be impossible to outwit them. And impossible to crush them head first, with their strength and tactical advantage.
So how do you intend to get us across?
We plan to get you across, Cicero. Our goal, first and foremost, is Lucia. Once she's taken care of and you have the heart, the rest will fall into place.
What are you saying?
We need to split up. One force to assault the Pale Isle from the front, to pull the Dactytes away from the bridge that connects it to the spire.
Assault the Pale Isle? There is only one bridge that connects it to the rest of the city.
The Dieci will brand bridges for us and follow us over once the rest get across.
And the other force?
The Cacciatori, my people, and the Malacarte will follow you. We will travel under the Colara, all the way to the rear of the Pale Isle.
Under the water?
With enough water brands, it's possible. Take it from me.
After we get to the rear of the isle, we will emerge and cross the bridge to the White Spire itself.
While the first force buys you time. Hopefully the Dactytes will be too distracted to notice.
And what happens to you after we cross?
Well, if we can get through to the bridge and cross it as well, that would be ideal, but
You don't think you're going to be able to?
no. Chances are the most we'll be able to do is hold the Dactytes up. Once you cross with enough people, we'll turn around and retreat. Come back the way we came, over the Dieci's bridges.
And if they follow you?
We'll collapse the bridges.
And if they brand their own?
Then we'll find some other way to deal with it.
This is insane!
This is necessary, Cicero. It is the only way we're going to be able to secure you a chance at Lucia. Once you deal with her and get the full set of artifacts,
There must be some other way!
then suggest it, please! While you were gone, the few songstresses that remain came by to lend their strength as well. The Hall of Songs is gone, and they have little left to protect.
You've told the armies what they're going up against?
We will be doing that now. A small portion of our forces will remain here to keep the songs of those that march.
They are already being sung?
It will ease the minds of those that go into battle. They will fight better.
Cicero, perhaps you should take this time to speak with those close to you as well. You might not have many more chances.
I don't think I've had the chance to apologize yet.
No. I don't think I gave you one.
I'm sorry.
Duty above all else. That's always been the case with you. We are what we are. If I've learned anything over the past few days, it's that running away from that is a fool's errand.
It doesn't make me any less sorry for almost killing you.
I'd like to think not. But we can move on.
Sounds good to me. If anything happens later,
Tristan,
I just don't want for us to end on a bad note. Just like old times?
just like old times.
We're all gonna die down here. I will say it seems slightly strange that the guys are like, "This is impossible. We're all gonna die. We can't fight something that powerful." When like our crew of 3 people took out like 20 of them, 30 of them, like we took out like 10 per person in our tiny 3-person crew, and we're kind of just 3 people. Like, I was out getting drunk for several years, she was off studying ruins, and Calden was taking care of orphans until this started. Like, we aren't especially super trained super soldiers, we're not specters or something. Like, we should be representative of a relatively normal group of people, and we took out so many of them, which kind of dampens the threat that they seem to be perceiving there. Jezero von Huruk. Seeing Jezero change his mind, seeing the spark in his eyes of a flame that had once died, has brought forth strange emotions. Elation is an obvious one, for my brother's people fight again for what he once did, but I do not experience that alone. There is a satisfaction that's so swollen I'd almost call it jubilation, and a pride bordering on vainglory. But yet neither of these emotions revolve around myself. They stem from seeing Jezero and his people suddenly so filled with a once-lost vigor. Is this how Cyrus felt when he rallied the Masquerades together? If it is, I suppose I can see why he'd felt so strongly about it. Whatever the case, I am glad that Jezero has agreed to fight alongside us, and even happier that their presence has been tolerated if not welcomed by the others. Perhaps this truly is a sign that an age is coming to an end. Tristan Delzol. There are some things that are better put behind, some weights that do nothing but burden you. I cannot have any of those as I prepare for the events of tonight, and in my quest to ease my mind, I must face the resentment that I have harbored towards Tristan for his actions, and put it behind me. The bitter taste will prepare me none for what lies ahead, and if one of us does not make it to see the sun of tomorrow, then I want our final moments together to be unsoiled. Noble enough. We're getting real final now. These numbers have been kind of a metric the whole time. 5 remaining, 3 remaining, 1. 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Things are pretty cleaned up now. There's something oddly cathartic about seeing a bunch of those numbers max out after a couple dozen hours of gameplay and so on. Oh, I guess we'll get more locations out of this, huh? Tessera. The arid country of Tessera lies across the Midnight Belt, and it is among the least visited countries by the Ombrians. The harsher climate of Tessera has dissuaded many a traveler from its sands, which has left most of the country's secrets intact. Its people don't seem to mind the environment, though. They have integrated the dust devils and the parched earth into their culture, and have embraced their tolerance of the elements as part of their national identity. Tessera is Ombra's largest supplier of crafted weapons. Tesseric steel is the best steel to be found in all of the known worlds, and the Tesserans guard the secrets of their steels with fervor. A couple final ones for the road. Evimus, a landlocked nation that lies trapped between Altamire and the mountain range that separates Omber from Altamire. Evimus is not so different from its Ombric neighbor. Both consist of people that had once come from Altamire, both vehemently reject the notion of religion. Not too much is known about the younger nation of Evimus, save that it has been born a century after the March of Broken Songs. Apparently, some Altamirians had seen through the pretext that the Altamirian government gave to its people for why they chose to invade Omber. Though the high priest spread the word that it had been because Omber had executed one of their missionaries, there were many Altamirians that identified the ruse for what it was. Altamire was jealous of Omber for its progress and saw the burgeoning nation as a threat. After the March of Broken Songs, a great number of Altamirians that lived closer to the mountains lost faith in the priests and fought the theocracy for their independence. Because they could no longer travel to Omber en masse, they had to stand their ground and wrestle the lands of their hearts from the Altamirian grip. They won, and the nation of Evimus was born. How it fares in modernity, however, is a difficult question, and though I know Darius and Pasha have been stationed in Altamire, I have heard nothing of the younger Evimus for a time now. Oh, so there's a question of whether or not they may have been wiped off the map in the meantime, or re-annexed, or any number of possible outcomes. Let's take a quick look up here. Just gotta be sure. Nope. That would be an almost rude place to hide them. New Man's Cross. New Masquerine. This is his, right? Summons 2 melee Kilgan grunts to fight for the caster for 20 seconds. Their attacks slow enemy attack and movement speed by 20%. Not a bad benefit. And our case is updated. It's been a while. Looking back on the entries, it seems that these notes have been more a journal than anything else, though I'm not apologizing. It's done me good, putting my thoughts into this. And now, here, I stand at the end of it all. The pieces have mostly been put together. We understand a little bit of who the lady was now. A form shifter, which explains her preternatural senses, and we understand why Raz was looking into creating Fae. We've made more progress learning about our world this past week than we have in our past 400 years, only to realize just how much we still don't know. Who is Brayag, and is he, among other gods, truly alive? Who is the lady exactly, and who was the Fae that was communicating with Razatov? Is another cataclysm coming, and if so, how are we going to stop it? The answers to these questions seem distant, especially in the face of tonight's plans. I shan't worry about them, however, for there are other things more worthy of my attention, more moments that deserve to be treasured more than this worry. I do not expect to write anything else within these pages. Normally, the thought would bring me a sense of grief, but scribing these words now, I feel only relief and gratitude. This investigation has turned out to be so much more than a quest for answers. It's been a journey, and it's been a healing of sorts. Strange, isn't it, how I chose to label it such? Just as I face the prospect of losing everything. But yet, despite what lies ahead, and despite the pain that I have experienced, I am thankful for the comfort that it has brought me. For years I have struggled with the guilt of abandoning my brother. A decision that was made because I was a coward and I lacked the strength to stand with him. And, finally, for the first time since I left the city, that weight has been lifted. I can't explain why or what it is that's taken the pain of the past away. Perhaps it is the prospect of death. Perhaps it is the culmination of all that I have experienced over the past few days. Perhaps it is my brother, in some afterlife, looking down at me and forgiving me for what I've done. Perhaps it is all of these things, and perhaps it is none. I'm not entirely sure I'm not entirely sure the reason matters, only that is how I now feel. Whatever the outcome of the battle tonight, I go into it with an unburdened heart, and know that if I should perish, it could be in no better state than this. Resigned to possible death. That's rough. But uplifting? Question mark?
Quickly!
I'm almost done.
Well, hurry up! We don't have all day!
There, finished.
Finished what?
Sir!
Sir!
What are you two doing?
Well...
After all this time, you still think you can hide secrets from me?
It's all right, brother. I think it's ready.
If you say so. It's got all the original inscriptions as well, sir.
And then some.
By the ages. This is beautiful.
You think so, sir?
In all my life, I've never seen either Artigiani or Fabra capable of such craftsmanship. This is a gem.
I'm so glad you like it, sir. We picked up these patterns this morning from we picked them up this morning.
Thank you. Both of you.
No, sir. Thank you. I don't think you can quite comprehend how much you've changed our lives.
The man we brought around in our coach before you, he threatened to cut off our limbs and feed us to the Fae.
Almost made good on it, too.
Sir, we know we're just Contadani coach hands, but the way you've treated us...
In the past few days, we've felt like real people, sir.
Because you are.
An alarming response, huh? Trying to remind them, you know you're real people, right? That's how this works. I mean, he was one of you. Oh, there it goes. With a member of the registry maxed out, that means that we now have every single entry except for what I have assumed for a while now will be the epilogue chapters of each individual party member. So the characters tab is basically done aside from that loose end. The Toth twins, Ricardo and Alina 3. The end nears, and I have been proven wrong. I'd harbored a notion before that the light in their eyes wouldn't survive the days that awaited the pair. But despite all that's happened, despite the death and destruction and loss and pain that surround them, the light still shines. Perhaps its glow seems even more radiant, now that the world around them has grown more full of shadows. If there is one thing that the Toth twins have reminded me of, however, it has surely been the power of a dream. It is at once a thing that purifies and distills, but yet heightens and intensifies the experiences of a life. It acts as a filter of focus and energy, allowing the dreamer to spend them on the things that matter, and at the same time, it compounds the rewards that are reaped when efforts come to fruition. A single step taken in the direction of a dream can sometimes feel like a shift in the world. Dreams are not simple things to be preserved. Of that I have no doubt. And still, I have no proven methods that are effective at conserving them in a world so dark. But my experiences with the Toths have reminded me of how powerful their presences can be. I suppose with hindsight, I should not be surprised. After all, my brother only ever really had one thing that drove him. True, it might have driven him to his death, but it was a juggernaut of a drive nonetheless. And so it is with this reminder that I now arm myself against the oncoming difficulties. It is not a new dream that I will cradle to my breast as I charge into the fray. No, I haven't any room in my heart for fresh dreams. Instead, it will be one that I had buried long time ago, when I had received the cloak and rapier of the inspectores. It will be a dream that's plagued, or perhaps blessed, my family for as long as I can remember. A dream of a better world, not just for the Masquerada, but for all peoples that call the city their home. It is a dream of a world, you will be glad to hear, brother, even better than that of the second canticle. Well, you better make good on that one, huh? That's a big claim from you. Oh yeah, let's double check real quick. I got one last thing. Was it an ink or an engraving? Ooh, 15% attack speed for 3 seconds. That's scary. What are you set on right now? 2% hit point and focus? No, let's have fun. Let's go with the rapid attacks. Maybe balance the damage and proc chance. I don't know, high proc chance would definitely help in this case, though. What's the highest proc you can go is 30%, I think? 35. We could. Just rapid attacks all the time. Let's go for that. Zephyr. He's a bit of a fast attacker. You reduce incoming damage. I was thinking of doing the other one, though, right? What was the other one? Was it cooldowns? Reduce cooldowns by 1 second. It's tempting. But the tankiness could be pretty effective too. But doubling down on cooldowns could be pretty scary too. Let's give it a shot. You're set to cooldowns, you're set to focus. Let's do reduced incoming damage. You're on mask charge. That might be the best thing to keep you on, perhaps. That's probably fine. Let's go high damage, though. Let's fully commit to damage. 30% damage. Is that the best I have? Yeah, it is. 30% damage. Alright. We're gonna see how this pans out. Let's take one last tour around camp, just in case. We wouldn't want to miss anything on our outro. There's Tiziana. Everyone's around here somewhere. The Randagia. Ombra's nation consists of more than just the city. In the echoing plains around the city lie various towns and hamlets that together constitute the Randagia. These smaller settlements consist mostly of Contadani, whose welfare is looked after principally by the Cacciatori. Few in the city ever pay mind to the lives or goings-ons of the Randagia. The city's population have far more important things to concern themselves with than the meager lives of those who exist to grow food that's placed on their tables. The Contadani and the Randagia don't mind the condescension, though. They believe that the farther away from the world the city is from them, the better. I'm inclined to agree. So basically, they're two separate factions of people that think they're both better off for not being around the other group of people. And, yeah, they're both right for very different reasons.
No rest for the bright, I see.
Not with all that's happened, no.
Shouldn't someone other than a marshal be doing such... What are you doing exactly?
I'm penning down the bright chorus.
All of it?
Every verse. And you're right. It's not the job of a marshal. It's that of a magistrate.
Magistrate?
As of an hour ago, yes.
Fabio condones this?
He's the one that promoted me, in fact. and the one that's given me the honor of enduring these wrist cramps.
Quite a change in tune.
Quite. After the Assemblia, he had some time to think about things. He wants to turn the guild around, bring it back to its roots.
And that's something he wants to do now?
We're not committing all of our forces. There'll be a few courts that'll keep its people. After I'm done with this, I'll send it back to them, so no matter how tonight turns out, the true heart of the Luca Infinita will still beat.
Your father will be proud.
Strange, isn't it? I never felt like I did his memory any justice until I defied the biggest thing he'd left behind. His guild.
Did I miss something?
How do you do it, Cicero?
What?
Look around us. Armies have gathered at your command. In a matter of hours, they'll go to war. They'll fight for you.
Because they have to. Their leaders have decreed it so.
It's more than that. To command a mind is one thing, but to command a heart as well. There's been talk going around.
Oh?
About what you've done over the last few days. The past you've had to overcome. People are taking your story to heart. It fuels them.
I can't say I did very much in that case.
And yet, it's more than enough.
You really think I inspire?
Cicero.
What?
Have you not turned around and looked at those who follow you? The mariner has learned acceptance. The bloodling chose sacrifice. The mask runner has lowered her walls. And the marshal, she listens to her heart again. If you look at those who keep your company and still cannot see, then, as I did when we first met, allow me to make something clear to you. You are a leader, and you always will be.
Thank you.
Now let's go feel terrible as we get more people killed. Oh, it's happening now. I'd never have taken the Marshal for a sentimentalist, but here she is, spouting the same words she did when we'd first met, just a few days ago. I am taken back to the woman that she was at our encounter and am given a chance to remember from whence she came. She was a marshal that is now a magistrate, a spy that is now a friend, a woman who was blinded by the light but now sees. We've come a long way, both she and I look fondly upon our friendship as we come to the final hours. I know not what awaits us both in the moments to arrive, but whatever may come, I am glad that we have taken this journey together. I am a better person because of her, and I am grateful that she says the same. If these moments truly are to be our last, I am glad that they are spent between friends. Now I better find everyone else around camp if they are around here, if this is going to be everyone's finale. Or is it just her? She might be the only person giving up their final entry here. What if she's locked out of the party because she's been up? Yeah, that'd almost be a bummer. Yeah, if her promotion locks her out of the party. No, I think they just took this moment to close up the storylines of her and the twins, and I think everyone else is probably just waiting in the next area or something. I hope. I don't see anyone here. Well, hold your breath and dive in.